Konnichiwa everyone, welcome to the Weerds podcast where we talk all things weebish and nerdish. If you like today's content, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Today's podcast is going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a new kind of show where it's called Judging. But today we're going to do Pokemon Judging, and we're going to go through all the starters of all the games and rank them from best to worst. Alright, let's get started. We're going to do the Kanto first, which is Gen 1 games. And Gen 3 technically, because, remake.
Yeah.
I guess technically Gen 6, 7?
It's been remade 3 times.
Yeah, so.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they had a 4th remake of Kanto for some reason.
I mean, it always makes money, so,
You're not wrong.
Alright, so the 3 Kanto starters, first is Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. And we're just going to first rank ours from best to, or our favorites to our least favorite.
Now, are we ranking by the basic form or the fully evolved form? Because my opinion on the fully evolved form.
Yeah, I know your opinion.
I say we start at basic.
We'll start at basic.
We'll look at, as if we're choosing our starter.
Yeah,
we'll look at basic.
This is the just basic look at stage 1, and then we'll talk briefly about its evolutionary line.
Right. So looking at the basics for Kanto.
Yeah. So this would be like if we were judging it based on if we were choosing it for the first time. So you can go ahead. You can go first.
Okay. If I'm looking at the 3 Kanto starters, right,
Yeah.
I would have to say my favorite would have to be. I can't say there's any better design because they're all pretty simple.
I mean, yeah.
But I would say Bulbasaur, probably the way you just listed it, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, in terms of basic design. I might be a little bit of a Bulbasaur fan, so I might be a little biased.
I mean, mine's similar. The only one changing is Squirtle and Charmander. Mine's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. And Bulbasaur because my favorite color is green.
Fair.
So I'm always kind of partial to the grass types. Squirtle, I like Charmander. I like because I was really into lizards as a child, and so it's a fire lizard. What's not to like? So yeah, mine's with Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle.
I was just always a Bulbasaur fan when it comes to Kanto.
Yeah.
Obviously we got the Charizard fans or Charmander fans. Not a lot of people liked Squirtle, but even more people didn't like Bulbasaur.
I think it was mostly Charmander was the fan favorite.
Right.
Squirtle was the next choice, and then Bulbasaur was for the weirdos. So that's us. We're the weirdos, huh?
Look, when you get early game Poison Powder, Sleep Powder, and Stun Spore, what's not to like about that?
I mean, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but going by each of their designs, I mean, like you said, they're pretty simplistic.
Considering it was the first generation, yeah, but they're still.
What I liked about Bulbasaur was the bulb on his back.
Mm-hmm.
It really brings you into the grass type and, kind of gives definition to more than just a turtle or just a flame on its tail.
Yeah. Turtle. Sorry.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? God, that's such a weird movie.
Never seen it.
You don't need to. For any of you wondering, the movie I'm talking about is The Master of Disguise. It's a weird movie.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's not our topic of discussion today. So, do you have anything else to say on their designs?
On the basic forms?
Yeah.
Not really. Like you said, it's a lizard with a flame on its tail.
Yeah.
It's a turtle. Bulbasaur is probably the most unique one out of them because it's not entirely a real animal.
I mean, there was a lot of debate on what Bulbasaur actually is. You said it's a frog. I'm on the position it's a dinosaur.
I would argue it's both, but either way, based off just design, it's not as simple as the...
Yeah, you can't, because I think its Pokédex entry just says it's the plant Pokemon.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's like there's not much definition to exactly what animal it's based off of.
Is the plant not an animal?
No.
Oh, okay. I failed history.
A little bit more than that. So its final type. Oh, I would say what's also interesting about Bulbasaur on its typing is that it's one of only 2 starters where it starts out as a dual type, because it's grass and poison
Right.
as a Bulbasaur, rather than almost all the other starters which start at just either one typing,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah,
That's probably also why I always picked Bulbasaur.
Yeah, you always start out 2 types.
Mm-hmm. Coverage.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't really get a poison move, coverage.
Yeah, that's the one critique I have about the original games, is that Bulbasaur doesn't have a good poison type move. Just like poison powder, I think, is the best.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get Sludge Bomb until Gen 4, I think.
I don't. Maybe. As far as my knowledge goes, I don't think it learns a poison type move.
I know it at,
From my knowledge.
I know at one of the games it learns Sludge Bomb.
Yeah.
I think that might be Gen 6.
Well, it's also hard to get starters from other regions nowadays.
Yeah.
When.
I think it was Gen 6 because that's an X and Y.
Yeah.
And that's when, you get a freebie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's when they get better moves for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also just better TMs.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bulbasaur is a grass poison. From Bulbasaur to Ivysaur, Venusaur, they're all grass poison. Squirtle to Wartortle to Blastoise stays water all the way through. Which I kind of wish... I mean, I know it didn't exist yet. I wish they changed it to where he was a water steel type.
Water steel. I would have said maybe. I would have said water rock. Honestly.
Well, I was thinking steel because of his cannons.
That's fair.
And he does learn a lot of steel type moves.
Also fair. At the end of the day, he's just a turtle.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's just a
At the
turtle.
end of the day, he's just a turtle.
Yeah, and then Charmander is from Charmander to Charmeleon. He's just fire type, and then at Charizard, the final evolution, he becomes a fire flying, which a lot of people wish he was dragon type, but
He gets it in the future, kind of.
his mega evolution. Well, one of his mega evolutions is a dragon type. I feel like they just did that just to appease the people who said he should have been in Dragon.
Probably.
I think they should have just stuck with, I think his Y version.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his X Dragon version, Mega is pretty cool, but I think they should have just stuck with one design.
Probably. I mean, they gave Charizard a weakness to one of the strongest types in the game, being ground.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about their evolutionary lines. From Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, I think it was very cohesive,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked really, it made sense. It evolving. Honestly, I have no complaints about its evolution designs.
Honestly, I can't, because I especially like the bulb.
Yeah.
How that evolved
Yeah, it
along
starts
with
with
the
a bulb,
Pokemon.
and then the closed bud of the flower,
Mhm.
and then finally full bloom with flower.
I don't know off the top of my head if there is a gender difference with Charizard and Blastoids.
No, there's not. But with Venusaur, there is.
Mm-hmm. That's the other like little detail
Yeah, because I
that I
think
like about it.
I think the female version at the top of the flower, it's like
Has a
curved up a little bit,
has a little
little
like bulb,
bulb,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
and then the
Or
male
seed or
version is flat.
whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when did they introduce that? I think it was like Gen 4, right? That they introduced
I believe
differences.
so. I know so much about Pokemon, but that's in my books. That's something that's a minor detail in my book.
It's not something you would notice right away.
Yeah, because there are some Pokemon where their gender differences are very, very slight. That
Yeah.
you wouldn't notice it by looking at it for the first time.
The only one that really matters whether it's a different, like if it's a different gender, is Combi, because the female is the only one who can evolve.
Right, yeah. In
That's
terms of single evolutions,
Yeah.
I was gonna say Curlia as well. If you want to get Gallade,
I mean,
Gallade has to.
yeah.
Curlia has to be male. But yeah, no, I get it.
But I'm talking like when they have differences in appearance.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
in Combi, the female has that little red mark on his forehead, and the male doesn't. Yeah.
Which makes sense because I think that little red triangle is supposed to represent the gem on the Vespi Queen's head when it
Yeah.
evolves. So that makes sense.
But anyways, back to the starters.
Vespi Queen's a starter. No, be one of the worst starters ever.
That would be the starter no one picks.
That'd be the starter Bugsy picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Squirtle. I mean, I don't have any complaints with its evolutionary design either.
Like I keep saying, he's just a turtle. It's very basic.
I liked Wartortle's tail,
Yeah.
which was really interesting because I kind of wish they kept the kind of fluffy, wavy tail on Blastoise, and because it looks great.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the only notable thing. Because again, he's just a turtle.
I will say, Blastoise's Mega Evolution made me laugh.
Oh yeah,
Because it had the big cannon on his back, and then he has two little arm cannons.
They decked him out.
Yeah, although I do like his Gigantamax form better.
I forgot they had Gigantamax forms.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have Gigantamax starters. I just don't use them.
I mean, to be honest, you don't really use Gigantamax unless, Max Lair or in the story.
Pretty much. Well, if we're gonna mention Mega forms, by the way, just going back a little bit,
No.
Mega Venusaur is very cool looking too.
Yeah,
I
like it. I just kind of wish
they just made it more flowery and planty.
Yeah.
Basically. But I still find it enjoyable.
I think his face just looks kind of weirder to me. I don't know why.
No,
his face was
fair.
more, his
That's
face
fair.
was more derpy in his Mega Evolution
That's fair.
than his normal one.
No, you're right. That's fair.
But it still looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It still looks cool.
That's fair.
The Charmander line from Charmander to Charmeleon. I don't know why, but that point in his head just always put me off.
They say that Charmeleon is like the awkward, like kind of teenage
Teenager.
phase. Yeah. He really is.
He really is. I mean, on Charizard it works.
Mm-hmm.
I think just the two horn thing.
Yeah.
It works, but on Charmeleon with the one horn it's just weird.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And Charizard's design, I think, looks fine. You have your opinions on Charizard.
Do I have to be nice, or can I just leave it at that?
I mean, it's your opinion.
I mean, design-wise, the fact that everyone thinks he's a dragon, if you really look at it, they did make him out to be a dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the two horns, which are usually on dragons, like the horns on the head, they have...
I mean, he's got the Drake wings.
He's actually literally a dragon.
He is a dragon.
He's just not dragon.
No.
His design is fine, honestly. It's the Pokemon itself that I don't like.
It's the overhype.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Me and my mini rock types really don't like it.
I mean, to be fair, they keep using him over and over again. Like, I think my final straw for it, because I used to love using Charizard, but the final straw was in Galar, in Sword and Shield, when the champion's main Pokemon was Charizard. Like, why is his main Pokemon a Kanto Pokemon? Why is it not a Galar Pokemon?
First of all. Secondly, why does it have to be Charizard?
Yeah. Even then, they could have just had his main Pokemon be whichever starter wasn't chosen.
He could.
Which ends up being one of his Pokemon anyways. Which, depending on who you choose, if you chose Grookey, that means he's going to have two fire starters on his team, which kind of takes away the whole professional grade Pokemon trainer.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it briefly too, with his overhype. His hype. He did get 2 megas.
Yeah.
And again, they gave Charizard a weakness to one of the strongest types, being ground, more specifically Earthquake.
Yeah, and it gets wasted.
Even though he's very clearly flying off the ground as Mega X, but whatever.
We don't talk about that.
Whatever. At the very least, his Mega Y, he's still fire flying, but he does get drought. So that makes up for it, honestly.
Well, he doesn't get drought. He gets solar power.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I think. No, that's his hidden ability. You're right. He gets drought as Mega. His hidden ability is solar power.
I'll be honest, hidden powers are so common nowadays, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the difference.
It's hard to keep up with all of his different abilities.
Yeah.
But I will say, I like his Y version better because Charizard is predominantly a special attack Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And with drought, and the fact that he can learn Solar Beam.
Solar Beam, yeah.
It's a better fit for him rather than you trying to find a Charmander who's attack, normal attack centric, and then you have to try to teach him Thunder Punch and Dragon Claw.
See, if you're gonna run a physical Charizard, you might as well just go for X.
Yeah.
The Dragon Claw. You can do like mix physical and special. But the only physical move you'd want on a Charizard is Dragon Claw. And even then, that's iffy. What was it?
And Thunder Punch.
That's
his only defense against water types.
Yeah, but otherwise, you don't really need a physical Charizard ever.
Not really, no.
And Dragon Claw is just for chip damage or...
I mean, it does get a boost because of his X for Mega's ability. I think it's called Crush Claws or something.
Yeah, plus it's stab because it's the dragon.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't need Dragon Claw for anything else.
Not really. But we digress on Charizard.
Good design.
It's good design, overhype.
Yes.
It's time to move on. Both in this segment and on Charizard.
I could go on for days. I'd rather go to Johto, though.
Here, this will pick you up. We'll move on to the other Kanto starters, which was in Pokemon Yellow and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, like I just said, Pikachu and Eevee.
Who would have guessed?
I think we both know each other's who's first and who's second. Number 1, 1, 2, 3, Eevee.
Magikarp. Oh, I mean, yeah, Eevee, sorry.
Can you imagine if a Magikarp becomes a starter and gets a 3rd evolutionary line?
How can you perfect Gyarados, though?
Make him a Dragon type.
So not Mega Shrimp?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know that your favorite is Eevee.
Yes.
I mean, Pikachu does also... I mean, I get that he's the mascot of Pokemon. He does kind of get overhyped.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking about this too. Pikachu is the mascot for Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
But I want to say maybe since X and Y, maybe Eevee has kind of become like a secondary mascot for Nintendo. Maybe because of Sylveon.
I think Sylveon, it kind of gained even more popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Let's Go Eevee came out, that's when people got more on board with Eevee.
So I think at this point, Eevee's like a secondary mascot.
Especially with it making more appearances in the anime too. Because I think... I'm not sure about the most recent series, if there's an Eevee, but I know in Sun and Moon, Eevee showed up.
Yeah. I mean, there was even a special, like, crazy haircut Eevee in the Sun and Moon series. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen it yet, but I know of it.
Yeah. But speaking on their designs, I mean, did you know that Pikachu was originally going to be brown?
Really?
Yeah, I read that somewhere. His original design was he was going to be all brown over, and then they changed it to yellow.
Like like shiny Alolan Raichu brown?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, between that, regular Pikachu and Clefairy, I think it's safe to say they had many ideas on who the mascot should have been or how they should have looked.
I think they made the right choice.
Probably. They definitely made the right choice between Clefairy.
Oh my gosh,
so
can you imagine
weird.
if Clefairy was the mascot? I don't think Pokemon would be as popular as it is now.
No, you're right. No.
It wouldn't have worked.
Can you imagine that one scene in the first Pokemon movie, but with Clefairy instead of Pikachu? That'd just be so weird.
I can't. My brain just actively rejects the idea.
Instead of Pikachu thunder shocking Ash, Clefairy, bat, bat.
No, I can't. My brain just can't even picture it.
It'd be funnier if anything. It'd break the immersion of that scene.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went with Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu's good. I like OG Pikachu, the chubby one.
The chubby one.
He was peak Pikachu design.
Yes.
Not this athletic Pikachu that can do double backflips.
And we're all so glad that the Gigantamax Pikachu brought that back.
Yo, it looks so great in the anime. It really did. When Pikachu Gigantamaxed for the first time, It just looks so perfect.
He gained all that weight back.
What's funny is when he uses the Max Steel Strike, he grabs his tail and he wobbles over and then throws his tail on the ground.
He's wobbling away. He's wobbling towards you.
Yeah. Peak
like
design. Eevee's design I don't really like. It's just all floofiness.
There's no such thing as too much floof.
Not with Eevee.
Not with Eevee. I mean, have you seen the Gigantamax form?
That's a lot of floof.
That's a lot of floof.
That's a lot of floof.
At that point, it's more floof than Pokemon.
It really is. It took the idea of Meowth, which was just creating it longer.
Oh my god, I forgot about Gigantamax Meowth. They literally just took the cat and they stretched it. It became a long cat.
I also liked how he's standing. It's the Lucky Cat pose. He's just like, and he's just stretched out. I mean,
he took after Alolan Executor.
Yeah.
Such great designs. So sad those Gigantamax forms don't do much, considering they don't evolve and they're still basic form Pokemon.
Yeah. So their evolutionary lines, Pikachu, it's technically the second stage 2 of its evolutionary line, with Pichu being the first, which didn't get created until Gen 2. And then it goes on to Raichu. And it's just straight electric all the way through, except for Alola Raichu, which is a electric psychic.
Yes.
Honestly, I like Alola Raichu way better than regular Raichu.
I like the Surfer too.
Yeah,
it also really utilizes the special attack stat of Pikachu.
Yeah.
By giving it psychic.
It honestly bumped Raichu up from just good tier to high tier.
And if you want to get technical, it's basic first and second. Like basic stage, first stage, second stage. Which honestly, obviously I didn't care. Well, I always said first stage, second stage, third stage.
I mean,
it doesn't matter. I'm personally just being picky.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, especially when we get to Eevee, which is
so many first stages.
There's so many first stages.
But let's be fair. Nintendo kind of did this to us. They're the ones who kept adding on to Eevee.
Yeah, so the first 3 evolutions introduced in Kanto was Flareon for fire, Vaporeon for water, and Jolteon for electric.
Yes.
And then when the dark type was released in Gen 2, they created Umbreon and Espeon. Umbreon is dark, Espeon is psychic. And then in Gen 4, they introduced Glaceon and Leafeon. Glaceon's ice type, Leafeon's grass type. And then in X and Y, they introduced Sylveon, which was a fairy type.
Yes.
They should have also introduced a dragon type with it, but they didn't. And I'm still not over it.
I know that I know that it works now, but I think it would have been also really nice if they replaced, like they switched Jolteon and Leafeon, just so Eevee can evolve to Fire, Water, Grass, just like the starters. But in all due respects, it is to give the player an option with the 3 stones, 3 elemental stones. They all have a theme, except Sylveon, but he doesn't have a counter,
which it was supposed to.
Yeah,
because it was supposed to be the newest type introduced, except for Glaceon and Leafeon, the newest type, and then it had whatever beats it, or vice versa. Whatever it beats, because Dark beats Psychic.
It could beat something, or it could be beyond. It really doesn't matter.
Because we got Umbreon, and for its counterpart, they introduced Espeon, and then they had Glaceon, counterpart Leafeon. So where's its counterpart for Sylveon? It should have been a Dragon type.
I mean,
I would have been honestly. I would have even been fine if they had like ones that beat the Fairy type, like a Steel type or a Poison type.
Yeah,
something.
Let's think about it though. When it comes to Espeon and Umbreon, right?
Yeah. Both
are friendship evolutions. The only difference is one's in the day, one's in the night.
Right.
Glaceon and Leafeon, they both evolve from a specific rock. Only one's in the mossy, one's icy.
Yeah.
Sylveon is high friendship with a Fairy type move. What would be the counters to that for a dragon? High friendship
with the Dragon type.
What dragon move would Eevee have though?
Well, let's think. There's Dual Chop. That's a basic Dragon type. Dragon Dance. That's perfect for Eevee evolution.
I'm trying to imagine every other evolution running Dragon Dance, and I'm just like, that's way overpowered.
Are you complaining?
No. Especially if Flareon, for example, passed X and Y and beyond. Yeah, I think X and Y and beyond. If Flareon could run Dragon Dance, now that it has a physical fire move of a Flare Blitz, God, that'd be so powerful.
Exactly. See, I'm helping the situation.
Yeah, that would really be good. Although I do agree with you, obviously. Don't get me wrong. But I think that would be a little too overpowered just to get a simple evolution.
It's not simple. It's a Dragon evolution. It's an Eevee Dragon evolution.
What's a basic Dragon move, though? Would Twister or Dragon Rage be basic?
Twister would be basic. That's not really that powerful.
I mean, Dragon Rage does more. I think Twister is only a base 30. So
20, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really weak.
I think that would work, yeah.
Either Dragon Twister or Dragon Rage. One of the two.
I can't.
They could have done so much more.
They could have done so much more, but we can focus on Eevee another time. There's so much I could talk about specifically.
We could dedicate a whole podcast just to Eevee.
Definitely talk about Eevee all day.
So, moving on to the Johto region, Generation 2, we got Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil. What's your ranking for them?
Well, if we're talking Johto, then it would have to be Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile.
Mine's a little bit. Mine's Cyndaquil, Chikorita, Totodile.
So we both agree that Totodile is at the bottom.
Yeah,
that's fair.
He's not a bad Pokemon. Don't get us wrong.
The start of it is just us looking at the just overall ranking.
Yeah. So, for Chikorita, I really like its design. Honestly, it's the same as Bulbasaur. They got the concept of Bulbasaur and transferred it to basically a different Pokemon.
Right.
And it looks really good. I like the whole, it starts as buds on its neck and then turns into leaves and then turns into a flower.
Yeah. It is a really good design. It really keeps with the whole plant. It's a plant dinosaur again, though. Yeah.
It's a plant. I mean,
they're all
that's kind of why
I
put it below Cyndaquil, because it is kind of a loosely carbon copy of Bulbasaur.
That's fair.
Wishing now that we had a Fairy type, I wish they changed its final typing to Grass Fairy, but we'll talk about that later during the typings. Totodile's design. I mean, what is there to say? It's a crocodile.
To be honest, it's kind of the same as Squirtle.
Yeah.
It's just a crocodile. It's an alligator.
Is it an alligator or is it a crocodile?
It's called for alligator.
But it's called crocodile.
It's both.
It's both. It's both.
If for alligator's an alligator and crocodile is a crocodile, then what the heck is Totodile? Just a lizard?
It's Totodile.
It's just a lizard. It's just a dial.
It's a dial.
It's a
That's
dial.
it.
That's fair. Wait, it's a crocodile. Crocodile. So it goes from crocodile to alligator.
You think we're thinking too much into this?
A little bit.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's be fair. They couldn't even fit the whole name of for alligator in the space that they had.
True.
Because they ended in TR, not TOR. So they couldn't even fit it in. So. And the best part is they kept it. They kept it in the game.
I mean, what else were they going to do?
Add one little code, or one little code to the coding,
No,
to the
too much
coding
trouble.
program. Yeah, that's fair. I can't.
You
even
know
say
anything about programming? You change one thing, it messes the whole thing up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Cynical, I mean, it's just adorable.
Yes.
The only thing I will say that I didn't like when they changed to the 3D forms of the game is that his back was never always lit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was only lit when he was attacking. That I didn't like, just because he looks better when his back is lit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they changed that in Legends.
Yeah, but in all fairness, they probably didn't have the programming to really keep that up on a tiny device.
They could. They could.
You...
What they were going for was, because in the show, his back only lit up when he was attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they were going for. They could have kept it going.
They could have done a lot of things by now.
They could do a lot, but I mean, I get what they were going for. They were trying to be cute, but I just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so on to the typing. What was interesting about these three is that they stayed the same type all three evolutionary lines.
Yes.
So we got Chikorita evolves into Bayleaf, evolves into Meganium. Totodile evolves in, well, we said it, Croconaw to for Alligator.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cyndaquil to Quilava to Typhlosion. Honestly, Cyndaquil has the best names.
Mm-hmm.
Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion.
Yeah. Pretty.
Yeah.
There's just nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that line.
It is really not. And also the way he grows,
Mm-hmm.
I think is probably the most, I want to say the most normal of all the Pokemon
Most
of
natural.
how he,
Yeah.
most natural of
Mhm.
growing. Like, it actually looks as if he's actually growing rather than just changing forms.
Right. Honestly, there's not... Johto is... For being a second generation, it's kind of more basic than Kanto, to be
Yeah.
fair.
It's basic, but it's like basic perfection.
Yeah, it's like basic, straightforward, but that's what people want
Yeah.
sometimes.
This is what it is. This is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Chikorita, I mean, we touched on its evolutionary design already.
Right.
It's same as Bulbasaur. Good design. One thing I wish they did change was, or do in later games,
Mm-hmm.
is give its ability to like change its flower color.
Mm.
You know, kind of like sort of regional variants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and same with Bulbasaur too, but you know, I mean, they'll probably never, unless they do like a Legends game with Johto Pokemon, they probably won't ever do it.
No, I feel like honestly, I feel like Nintendo would rather continue the Legend series than the Let's Go series at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Let's Go was a series, but it was more pandering to Pokemon Go.
It was to get, I mean, I think the director of the game even said that the point of the game was to introduce Go members
Yeah.
into the traditional Pokemon games.
Yeah. But I mean, personally, I would still like to see every other region in the same format,
Yeah.
but that's just personal preference. I would rather them continue Legends, because every region has their own legend.
Yeah, it's the own legend, the whole history. I mean, they could do both. They got the money.
I mean, Let's Go sold pretty well.
Yeah,
So.
especially paired with the Pokeball Plus. Yeah, it sold pretty well. Anyways, so Totodile's evolutionary line. One thing I will say, I feel like every generation has that awkward teen stage.
Croconaw.
I think Croconaw is the awkward teen stage.
Especially this Gen 2 sprite.
Yeah, it looks like he has a diaper on.
It really does. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's
2D,
really weird.
2D pixel, 2D, and even 3D. It all looks weird.
Even like, especially me, because I always picked Cyndaquil, so my rival had Croconaw. And so when he first sent it out, I'm like, is that wearing a diaper? Did it go backwards in the stage?
Yeah, it's an awkward teenage stage.
It is awkward teenage stage. For Alligator, it does look cool though.
For Alligator, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. I will say that his I think it was a Gen 4 sprite in Heart Gold and Soul Silver is looked kind of funny because it was like hunched over, like and his claws were out, kind of like it was doing Thriller from Michael Jackson. Yeah, that it just looked funny as its sprite.
I was gonna comment on his Gen 3 sprite, but yours is more wholesome.
Wholesome?
Yeah.
What's his Gen 3 sprite?
You've never heard the legend of the Gen 3 sprite? I'll put a picture up. Yeah.
I remember that now.
I was gonna go with that, but then you brought up the Gen 4.
Yeah,
the Gen
Thriller
4 sprite, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's more wholesome than mine. But that's the best. That's what people liked about the Gen 3 sprite. It's because of how funny that looked.
And for Alligator got butt.
Apparently, and then he lost it. Between Gen 3 and 4.
When you get it displayed on the whole generation game,
that's fair.
You know, you kind of want to work that out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
can I add a little section real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Because
I care about this more, probably. The shiny forms.
Dude, I have to look at all the shiny forms.
I know the shiny forms. A quick 10-second recap. All the shiny forms for Kanto are fine. Blastoise Squirtle line needs a little bit of work because the only thing that really changes is the shell.
Yeah.
Johto. I like all of them too. Again, for Alligator needs some work because the only real difference are the little spine things on his back. Otherwise, it's just a different shade of blue. So that's all I gotta say.
So just a little bit of discoloration. That's
yeah. It's only with the water types though. Because like the fire types and the grass types, they get like a whole different color change. The water types just get a lighter tone of blue.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Ghostbusters.
Alright, we're gonna move on to Hoenn. So we got Trico, Mudkip, and Torchic. You got your list?
That's exactly what you said.
Really? Trico, Mudkip, Torchic?
Oh, you said Mudkip. No, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip.
Mine's in this order. Trico, Mudkip, Torchic.
Mudkip has the same reputation for me as Charizard.
Really?
Yes. Charizard's overrated. Mudkip specifically became a meme.
Did it?
Yeah. You don't know Mudkip memes?
Nope.
Good. You don't need to.
I guess that's why I still like it.
Yeah, don't. That's just me though.
I mean,
Trico's such a great Pokemon. Trico's such a great Pokemon.
Trico is such a great Pokemon.
I especially loved him in the anime.
Yo, he was so a boss in the anime.
He really was. Even as a Grovyle, he was even way better.
And as a Sceptile, he dominated as Sceptile.
God, I mean, Sceptile kind of dominates in game too. It's a great.
Especially in the ORS games. He's overpowered.
He really
especially when they gave him Dragon type moves.
Dragon type and then a Dragon type Mega.
What?
That's so stupid.
So stupidly awesome though.
Yeah, and it can be used as a special and a physical, very nicely.
Yeah, just depending on whichever nature you get, you could raise it however you want.
God, give me Mega Sceptile. It'll take out all the other starters in every other generation.
I still mad because when X and Y was going and they had megas, I was like, oh, they should bring back Sceptile and give the mega to Ash.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
No.
Anyways, back to the Hoenn starters. Yeah, Trico's design was really great. Mudkip's, I mean, I personally like Mudkip. I like his whole evolutionary line. Just the derpy face and, you know, what it's based off of, it just works for me.
I think the best, if we're talking about the sprites, the best sprite is any of the 3D sprites from Marsh Tomb.
Oh, yeah.
Just a blank expression.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just the...
He goes, ah!
He's gonna kill you.
And it's even better, too, because his mouth is just one straight line.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
Torchic's base design, I like it. Honestly, I like it more than its other designs. But yeah, and it's going through all their typings. So Trico, you know, it's straight grass all the way from Trico to Grovyle to Sceptile. And of course, as we mentioned, Sceptile has a mega evolution where it becomes Grass Dragon.
He gains a Christmas tree on his tail.
Also, the way his sprite is, where his back is facing towards the opponent, it just looks so cool.
Mm-hmm. He's such a cool. He's that cool kid in the anime. That's all he is.
He's the cool, successful kid.
Yeah. I also did name my Trico when Oris came out. I named my Trico Christmas Tree because of Mega Sceptile.
If I ever did nicknames, I just nicknamed their Japanese names. So I nicknamed my Sceptile Jukain.
Mm-hmm.
I started with Sceptile because it just seems like a cool name, especially to fit his cool personality.
Yeah.
So Mudkip's evolutionary types starts as just water. Does Marsh Tom?
Mm-hmm.
It's a ground type too, right?
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
It starts with Marsh Tomb is a ground water.
So, water, ground, and 2 Swampert, and its mega evolution. Oh my gosh, it loses me at its mega. I'll be honest.
It's very questionable.
And also, we'll talk more when we talk about their evolutionary lines. But and then Torchic, it's fire, and then it starts the long typing of firefighting in combustion, and then in Blaziken. So with the Trico's evolutionary line, it just worked. Again, Trico's the best out of all these.
He really is.
It works all throughout.
Yeah.
Especially
really
when, you get to Grovyle, you get the long hair braid like a samurai, and then you get to Sceptile where he's a boss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing bad I can say about him.
I think what really got me into the Trico line was watching Grovyle specifically in the anime.
Yeah.
Specifically using Leaf Blade.
The way he uses Leaf Blade is awesome.
Honestly, that's why not only do I love the move Leaf Blade, but I never run a Sceptile without Leaf Blade.
Yeah.
The other 3 moves can change. Leaf Blade is locked and loaded.
Yeah. And then with Mudkip, I mean, I know you has your reservations.
It's just Mudkip specifically. Marsh Tomb and Swampert are fine.
Okay. Well, I like their designs. Marshtomp kind of looks like an awkward kid, but it works.
He's that awkward kid where you still don't want to mess with him.
Yeah,
this is the thing. He's that crazy awkward kid. He's
the guy who learns martial arts. He could kill you if he wanted to.
Pretty much.
I also like Swampert's design and his sprite in Ores, where he's like on his on his front legs, his fingers, where he's you should put up a picture of that. But I think it looks really cool. It looks more a lot better than his Gen 3 sprite. He kind of just looks like a blob.
He kind of does.
Yeah, it's just a blob with, you can see his little whiskers. That's about it. Yeah, but his Gen 6 sprite is a lot better.
Some 3D sprites made Pokemon look better. Some made it look worse. Some didn't change.
Some just same amount. Yeah.
For Swampert, it made it better.
Torchic, Combustion.
Hold on.
What?
We didn't get to the Mega form. We don't want to talk about Mega Swampert.
I don't.
We don't want to talk about the Brawler, the man who skips leg day.
Gosh, his Mega evolution was like, because I didn't look at the Megas before I played the games, just because I wanted to be surprised.
Right.
I was pleasantly very surprised with Sceptiles, and then when I did my, because I did my Alpha Sapphire version first, which was Sceptile, and then I did Omega Ruby with Mudkip.
Right.
And then when I Mega evolved him, I was like, what is that monstrosity?
Mega Swampert. He's the definition of don't skip leg day.
Really don't skip leg day. And also, what was with his tail? I can't. Also, his ability was terrible. His ability to swift swim.
This is why you don't cheat at the gym, kids. You lose your tail.
For real.
Well, this is his ability. His ability didn't make sense with his buff physique either.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up now because I wanted to, see what it was. His Mega Form's ability is swift swim, which means he just gets faster in the rain. He gets
faster in the rain, which hardly ever happens.
First of all,
I never use Rain Dance anyways, so because I'm not going to use up an attack spot with a non-attack.
Unless you run like a Pelipper on your team that has Drizzle. There's no
unless
point.
you run a team where it's, because I've been thinking of creating like a weather team that manipulates the weather, kind of like Raihan and Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I can think it would be useful. Other than that, it's just not. It honestly got less love than the other two Megas.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, now we can move on to Torchic after talking about that monstrosity.
Hey, if we had to talk about Charizard for that long, we get to talk about Swampert for that long.
To be fair, most of Charizard was bashing him. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, Torchic, Torchic into Combustion, it makes sense, but still, it's that awkward teenage phase.
It really is.
It kind of looks weird. Like, it makes sense for the evolutionary line, but it just looked weird to me. Blaziken, it looks cool. Honestly, for me, Blaziken is also kind of got overhyped.
Did it?
Especially when its Mega came out and it got into the anime.
If we're talking about Mega, in the anime, I don't know what its story is, but in like the VGC, the video games, it's only got that popular because it got speed boost.
Honestly, I could not care for the speed boost.
Me neither. Yeah. But I can see why it would give hype.
I think it was probably just my group of friends that just like overhyped him, and then when I actually used him, I'm like, Sceptile's better.
He really is.
I mean, honestly, speed is great and all, but I mean, it's not. I could get better speed just by training my Pokemon. I don't need super duper speed.
Super duper speed.
Unless, now if you got a Pokemon move that, like Electric Ball, that deals damage higher your speed stat, if it had a move like that, I would be more on board with it.
Right. But
it doesn't, so.
It's a fire type. It's a firefighting type.
Okay, firefighting.
It's a firefighter.
It's a firefighter, there we go.
I will say, though, I do appreciate the design of the Megaform itself, just the design.
Yeah.
I think it works well, especially with, it really exemplifies the whole fighter and speed boost thing. Like, it makes it look faster and it's still a fighter. So.
It works. It's just, I guess for me personally, it was overhyped, and in my opinion, it's not as good as Sceptile, but nothing is, so.
The shiny Mudkip line is the only difference because they turn from blue to purple. Sceptile, the shiny Trico line?
Yeah.
Perfect. There's nothing wrong with it.
I like its new shade of green as shiny.
Yeah, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Torchic's fine, but did you know that Combusken's shiny form actually, I believe it changed when Sword and Shield came out. So just a quick recap. Combusken used to be one of those kind of weirdly unnoticeable shinies, and it was more noticeable in Blazekins. they fixed that in Sword and Shield to where they actually turn something different. It looks better, honestly. I mean, I think Blaziken stays the same in terms of shiny.
Yeah.
But they kind of made Combusken more into Blaziken. Which again, like I said, it was a very unnoticeable shiny.
So moving on, we're going to go into Sinnoh now. And honestly, these are some of my favorite starters. I think that's their whole evolutions just were good. We got Turtwig, Piplup, and Chimchar. What's your ranking for them?
Piplup at the top, because Team Piplup. It really goes back and forth with Turtwig and Chimchar. So I like their designs equally. But I would have to say Turtwig. I would have to say Piplup, Turtwig, and Chimchar. Because Turtwig is a bit more unique.
Ours is very different.
Unique, I guess.
Mine is Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup. Sorry.
Wow, I see how it is.
Hey, man.
Team Piplup.
All we know is that by process of elimination, Turtwig is on top.
Maybe.
I mean, you got him as a second, I got him as first. Piplup, you got as first, I got Piplup as third. Turtwig wins.
We'll see what my Ice Beam has to say.
Alright, so with Turtwig, its design, I think its base design, I think is really good. I mean, I honestly prefer its turtle design more than Squirtle. I mean, like we said, Squirtle's kind of very basic. Turtwig's as a grass turtle just seemed it fit. You know, I like the little
sprout.
Sprout.
I was just gonna say that too. I like the little sprout on its head to make you remember, hey, grass type.
Hey, I'm grass type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
that it's such a simple. It really is just simple design.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's the basic stages of the starters. There's not much, pizzazz with them.
Yeah,
they're just baby basic Pokemon.
And then its evolutionary line, Turtwig to Grottle, they're both just normal grass. And then
pure grass, not normal grass.
Pure grass.
You're gonna get people like me hating on you.
Fine. It's just grass there.
Fair.
It's just grass, and then Torterra is a grass ground.
Honestly, isn't a bad typing.
No, it's a great typing. What I really like this for all of them as a whole, they have their typings are set up where they can defeat the type they're weak against.
Yeah.
So like we'll just run through their final typings. Piplup's final typing is Water Steel, and then Chimchar's final typing is Fire Fighting. So Torterra is weak against fire, so the ground type allows him to beat the fire type. Piplup's Apollion's final typing, water. Shoot, my mind just went blank. I was about to say water metal.
Water metal.
Yeah, water steel type. It doesn't enable it to 100% beat the grass type, but it does reduce the damage from grass type, making it normal. And then it also has ice type moves. So, and then Chimchar and Fernape fire fighting, because Empoleon's a steel type now, fighting gives it that super effective move.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, if you really think about it too, and Fernape does kind of get the short end of the stick. I mean, not only is it weak to water and fire. Water and fire? Water and ground.
Yeah, water and ground.
Yeah, so it kind of gets destroyed by both of them, in all honesty. Well, no, I think actually Torterra might be the MVP in terms of typings, because out of all 6 of those typings, fire's the only one that's super effective against it.
Yeah.
I think Infernape still gets the short end of the stick, but
It
Torterra
does.
definitely wins.
But to be fair, I think Infernape has higher stats than the rest of them.
True. And in turn, excluding Empoleon's typing, Drill Peck, Ice
Yeah.
Beam, it's about all you need.
It's really all,
It's all you need.
It's really all you need. Yeah. For their his evolutionary line, Turtwig's evolutionary line, I feel like all the other grass types, it did perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it did. Torterra's final design, it honestly looks really good.
I think it more exemplifies the fact that, hey, I'm a grass type. I'm
Also,
a plant.
He's an island turtle.
That too.
He is Tortuga. That's actually what I named him first. My first nickname.
It's kind of a combination design too of Turtwig and Grottle, because Turtwig had the little sprout for the tree, and then Grottle had the little bushes, and then they just combined them.
Yeah,
to Torterra. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm hoping when they do another Legends game and they have Turtwig be a starter and his region variant form, I hope that's when they do have him be a grass and water type. Because then he could actually be, an island turtle.
True.
And that would be interesting. But we'll just have to see on that. Unfortunately, there's no Megas for the Sinnohs. Disappointed. But no Gigantamax form either.
Do they need it, though? They're pretty powerful in and of themselves.
It's just
something
cool.
They got great... They got great types for dual types, and they get great moves to back up their typings.
True.
So,
do they need it? No. Do we want it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference between wants and needs.
Yeah. It is. So with Piplup to Primplup, I thought that was it always confused me when I was younger when doing his names, because wait, isn't that the same name? Oh wait, no, it's just an R.
One's a Pip, one's a Prip.
One's a Pimp.
That too.
I just noticed all the evolutionary lines in Sinnoh, they are all normal or all pure until the last one. Because Primplup's just water type.
Yeah. No, Monferno's fighting.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
As a kid, when Diamond and Pearl came out, I always thought Primplup became part steel.
Yeah.
So I was always scared to put it up against ground types and fighting types. Until I realized, yeah, and then I was like, oh wait a minute.
I will say, I think Primplup, we'll finish the evolutionary. Empoleon is the final evolution of Piplup, which is a water steel, like we said. I will say Primplup, he's the Aqua Teen of this starter set. Yeah.
I would say Monferno was. Not really Primplup.
I don't know.
Primplup's just... I see him just as a bigger penguin.
I don't know. It's just... I don't feel like... Just his design looks very weird to me. Just the bottom legs and the little weird discs on his head. I don't know. It just looked weird to me.
I'm a Piplup biased person.
I'm just saying what I'm telling you.
I know. I'm listening.
It looks like the awkward teenage stage to me.
That's fair.
But Empoleon doesn't look nice.
Empoleon's friggin'
he's stacked.
Yeah.
Moving on to Chimchar. I mean, I noticed that we have a lot less to say because I feel like we had more to say about the others because they've just been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've had more games about them.
And we're slowly getting into the more current regions.
And the ones that I'll have a lot to say about the Unova ones.
I do.
But anyways, but yeah, also the other ones had megas and other forms and stuff. So that's why it's not that we don't like the Sinnoh Pokemon less. It's just that there's not much to say other than they're pretty good.
They had megas, and then Johto's just perfect. He doesn't need anything. Yeah. It was perfect. It's perfect.
So Chimchar, I don't know. It doesn't seem like an awkward state because it goes Chimchar to Monferno, which starts as the firefighting, and then to Infernape.
Chimchar's fine. It's just Monferno.
Really? I didn't mind Monferno's design.
I don't mind it, but if we're talking in terms of awkward teenage stage, I'd say Monferno.
Really? It looks like a normal monkey to me.
There's something off about it. I don't know what it is. There's just something off about it.
I think this is just goes to from our own particular tastes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just the opposite with us. But we can all agree Turtwig has the best designs.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then Infernape. I don't know. There's not much to say about Infernape. It looks good, but
it kind of furthers the firefighting aspects from Blaziken a little more. Which, by the way, Infernape is stage 2 to the hate of firefighting type starters.
Yeah, this honestly, Infernape is the start of where we're like firefighting again.
Yeah.
All right, I guess so.
Blaziken is like, oh, that's so cool. Infernape was like, okay, a second one, that's fine. Yeah. The Blaziken was awesome.
Yeah, Infernape were like, all right, second firefighting, still looks like a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It was great. Good. It was great in the anime. All right.
Oh, the very few Sinnoh episodes I saw with Infernape specifically, that he was crazy.
Yo, he goes off.
He really does.
I wish they brought Infernape back because honestly, Infernape is one of Ash's strongest Pokemon in my opinion. Especially since it's one of his only Pokemon that uses their ability. It actually uses Blaze.
Yeah.
Which of those you don't know, it's basically when their life is low, whatever type they are, it boosts their attack stat. Or just the power of their moves.
When their health gets below half, their attacks do more damage.
Yeah. So
all the starters have the same, just respective to their typing.
Yeah.
As well, by the way.
So all the grass types have, was it Overgrow?
Grass type, yeah, Overgrow,
Torrent, and then Blaze is fire. Yeah. Yeah, I think Infernape is actually one of the only Pokemon in the entire anime to actually use his ability. There's not much you can say.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
What's your shinies, man? The only shiny I think I remember is Turtwig.
I'm trying to remember Torterra's exactly, but I think it's also the same as Turtwig.
Yeah.
So if I had to say, Infernape was kind of, if I remember correctly, Infernape was kind of the same deal as Blaziken. We just got like a deeper red. I like Turtwig shiny, but if Torterra's the same as Turtwig from my memory, no. Torterra is a darker green. It doesn't have the turquoise like Turtwig does. It's a darker green, which is still nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice green. Dragonite. Empoleon, though, again, I'm biased to Piplup. Yeah. Empoleon shiny is really good, though. It's a nice shade of lighter blue,
right?
But you can still get like the steel typing from it.
I don't know. I don't remember most of the shinies.
I'm a shiny fanatic.
Yeah. You're the shiny hunter. I'm like, if it pops up, I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I actively shiny hunt.
Anyways, moving on to Unova, my least favorite region.
Fair. It's a lot of people's least favorite for one main reason, but also still many reasons.
There's various reasons I don't like it, but I digress. The starters is Snivy, Oshawott, and Tepig. You can give yours first. I think I know yours.
Oshawott, Snivy, Tepig.
Mine is Oshawott, and then very much below him, like all the way down, is Snivy and Tepig.
Wow. Okay.
I can't stand them. I'll get into it. All right, so starting with Snivy, so it's a pure grass all the way through.
Yes. From
Snivy to Servine to Serperior. By the way, what a pretentious name.
Yeah, right?
See, if it was a grass poison, I would be on board with it. Especially since it's a snake.
Yeah, no, that would work.
Or even a grass fairy type. I know it's not
past.
I know
if it
was
gained it.
after Fairy was introduced.
Yeah.
But even it's like saying now, if they changed it, I would be fine if it was a Grass Fairy type.
Definitely.
But honestly, its moveset was terrible. It learned no other moves other than grass types.
Mm-hmm.
Its design, honestly, it was okay. Servine is the awkward team.
Oh, definitely.
Let's get that right. Well, actually, Servine. Also, what's his name?
I would argue it's between Servine and Pignite.
Pignite, that's it. It's both of them. This one has both.
If I had to choose, I'd say Pignite, but it's definitely a contest.
Honestly, Tepig, its whole evolutionary is the awkward stage.
Like, Tepig was fine. And then they ruined
Tepig
it.
is fine.
Then they ruined it.
They ruined the rest of it. But Snivy to Servine to Superior, like, it made sense except for Servine. Because, Snivy had these small legs, and then grew large legs with arms, and then all of a sudden it lost it. It was weird. It didn't make sense. I didn't really like Superior's design. It seemed too flashy to me.
I mean, it's called Superior.
Again, I think it's just that arrogant attitude it has. Maybe that's also why I really don't like it, is because in the anime, the rivals, I think his name's Trent or something, Ash's new rival.
Yeah.
His Snivy had such an attitude. Ash's Snivy had such an attitude. I don't know. I can't with Snivy. And
see, the difference between like the Snivy, Snivy's attitude, and say like Trico and Grovile's, and even Sceptile's attitude. The Trico line had the cool guy attitude. Snivy kind of had like, I'm better than you.
Pretentious.
Yeah, I'm better than you. Pretentious attitude. Yeah. The Trico line did it better, basically. Yeah. They did it right.
I could go on a whole tirade about how much I don't like the Snivy line. Oshawott and Duat, so it's pure water all the way through. It goes Oshawott, Duat, and then Samurott. I like Oshawott and Duat's forms perfectly. I thought they were great. The only problem I have is Samurott's design. I don't like how it's on all fours, especially with the way Oshawott and Duat is. Also, with its name, it's obviously supposed to represent being a samurai. Right. It doesn't look samurai enough to me. I think it would have been better if it was standing on two legs. Its armor was more samurai with the shoulder pads, and the helmet maybe more samurai-like. Yeah. And also its seashells being actually like swords, rather than it losing those seashells. That's my only gripe about its design-wise. I mean, it still looks fine. It still works. Yeah. But that's just my only gripe.
It's better than Superior.
Anything's better than Superior.
It's fair.
Did you have anything about Superior? I kind of moved on.
I mean, I have more experience when it comes to Unova, and I definitely had my fair share of Superior, both design wise and both battle wise. The only good side I have to say is that it's just like most grass types, it lives up to its overall status. Because when it comes to Pokemon, grass is usually more well-rounded. Fire is more offensive. Defensive is more water. Yeah. The only downside, I say, like you said earlier, it doesn't really learn too many good moves, so you have to really rely on TMs and HMs and all that. But that's the only professional say I have to say on Superior.
Alright, and then about Oshawott,
Oshawott is cute.
He's adorable.
That's all I have to say. I love him. I love him in the anime too, because he's like running. He's like Asha.
Whenever
Asha.
he sings his little song,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so adorable.
I love it. It's great. Oshawott bias again, so I can't hate Samurott. I love Samurott.
I mean, I don't necessarily hate it. I was just, when I first saw it, I was expecting something different.
Something different, yeah. No, I get you.
I wasn't expecting it to go back on all fours.
No, I get you. I like Samurott's mustache, though.
Mm-hmm.
His
mustache, man.
His overly exaggerated mustache.
I like it can keep the mustache to go back on two legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now we've gone to the same level bottom scraper as Snivy. Tepig. Tepig, it's fine as a Tepig, I guess. I mean, it's a pig. I like the pig. It's fine.
I like that in the anime, they had the embers actually come out of his nose.
Yeah.
Instead of out his mouth like most fire types do.
Yeah.
It was a
nice change. Mm-hmm. And then we get to Pig Knight, which
I would argue is awkward.
It is very awkward.
It's more.
It's one of those wrestler kids that wears their leotards everywhere.
It really is. I can't form words to how weird it is. Is the problem.
Yeah, and it's also it's another firefighting, and it starts as Pig Knight was firefighting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Embora is also firefighting, and this is at the point where we're like, stop with the firefightings.
This was strike 3.
This was the breaking point.
Yep.
Embora just looks. It reminds me of Ganon from The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. I was gonna say
as an awkward teenager.
I was gonna say it took the awkward teenage phase of Pig Knight and pushed it into adulthood.
Yeah.
Basically. It kept almost the same like body shape and attitude, just from teenage to adult. Yeah. That's all it really did.
And again, like firefighting 3 times in a row, like I would have been fine if it was a fire dark type. That would have been fine.
Yeah, I would have taken that.
But they did not do a good job with Unova.
Not the starters, at least. The other Pokemon are way better.
Yeah, it had other great Pokemon in Unova. The story, on the other hand...
Was that all for the starters?
That's all I got. Unless you wanted me to talk about more how bad they are.
Superior Shiny? It's good, but it's like meh good. You know? It's like,
so it's just a nice change of pace.
Yeah. It's not as extravagant as like Meganium or Sceptile or Venusaur. But it's still a really nice slight difference. Samurott is pretty cool too. It goes into like a deeper, darker blue.
Yeah.
I think for me at least, the only redeeming factor of Embor is the shiny form.
Isn't that blue fire?
Yeah. That's the only reason I
honestly,
like it.
If that was its normal form, I would be on board with it. Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. That's the only redeeming factor of Embor.
Alright. Arigato to everyone for watching. This is just part 1 of our rundown of the starters. There's a lot to go through, so we'll be doing part 2 after this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and keep that eye out for part 2. We look forward to making more content. Sayonara.
Bye.